Queen, God is not after your relationship status, but he's after your heart. I noticed this some years back when I realized when I was in a relationship and my heart was jacked up. The things that I was doing in a relationship, the wrong kind of relationship, the wrong kind of dating, because there is a such thing as wrong dating. It showed that my heart wasn't God's. It showed that I didn't know how to treat myself or another human being. And this is really what I want to say to you, queen, young queens, especially young queens. If you would just take time to get to know yourself and get to know God, your life, your decisions, your money, your relationships, I mean with family, friends, and a romantic relationship, if that's your desire, it will be so fruitful, so God, so big, so beautiful, if you would just take time to know yourself now and to know God now. There's so many people, including myself at one point. Absolutely, I was that young girl, teenage girl, young 20s, middle 20s, rushing into a relationship. I wanted a guy so bad, like most young women, because I made a guy my idol. For most young women, a guy, a boyfriend is their idol. It is your idol. You're grabbing a hold of him so fast and so strong because you think that you're going to get something from him that you have been starving for your whole life, which is a father figure, which is, that manly or fatherly attention, validation, oh my goodness, identity, all of that. And you try to look for it in a guy, but you fail every time because a boyfriend cannot provide what a father can. Boyfriends are horrible fathers. I caught on to that. And wise women do. If you develop a relationship with God and allow him to speak to you, he will give you everything that a father gives, because he's done it for me. I am that young woman who looked to a young man for everything that a father gives. And because I gave my heart to God, I realized that this was failing, and God was showing me how good and how beautiful he was. So I surrendered my heart to him, and he gave me everything. When I mean everything, I mean everything that a father gives. All the things I was looking for in a boyfriend that I couldn't find because it wasn't there, he gave it to me. And so this time, the last 7 years, I always share that because you need to hear this. The last 7 years, God has been pruning my heart, training my heart, teaching me about his true love, true commitment, how to respect people, how to honor myself and honor people, how to be on time, how to manage money, how to manage the food that I eat, literally how to live like a human being. I didn't learn all these things as a teenager and a young adult. I did not learn that, and I rushed into something that I was not ready for. Young woman, if you would just take the time, your life will be more fulfilling and more fruitful. But this is what I see. I did it, and I continue to see this. Young women jumping into relationships, holding on for dear life as if she don't have this dude, she gonna die type situations. You know what I'm saying? Giving this dude all she has, giving a boyfriend husband privileges. We've heard that many times before, but that's because it's true. But also these boyfriends giving these girlfriends, what did I say? Let me repeat that. Giving these boyfriends wife privileges. And these boyfriends giving these girlfriends husband privileges. Did I say that right? You get what I'm trying to say, okay? You know what I'm saying? They're doing that constantly. And they're realizing they're experiencing all this brokenness when they don't have to. Jumping from relationship to relationship, or being in the same relationship, and y'all are just, you're not creating beauty. You're not in alignment with God. So when you don't have the blessings of God, the only thing you have is the curses of the enemy. Sex outside of God's creation of commitment, of a beautiful covenant, that is not a blessing. That is a curse. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sharing this to say, do I keep saying that? I'm sharing this to say, It's not about your relationship status. It's about your heart. God wants to teach you how to be a committed woman because he's after your commitment to him first. Then a man, if that's your road to travel, if that's what you desire. He's after, because once you have commitment, once you have integrity with God, you'll have integrity with all your other relationships. Once God has your heart, it opens up your life. Or how about this? You become a tree of life that gives life, nourishment to everybody around you. But young woman, you got to take that time to develop a relationship with him that is outside of a young man. That is outside. If you are in a relationship right now and you have no purpose, you don't know what you're doing, y'all just calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all, if you're in a relationship right now, and these are all together, and y'all just having sex. If you're in a relationship right now and you're looking to him to fulfill some void, queen, you don't need to be in a relationship right now. What you're looking for is God. Let me tell you, let me help you or end the search for you. It took me, oh God, the last time I was dating, 24 years, from birth to 24, it took me that long to finally surrender my entire heart to God. Queen, let me help you. It won't have to take you that long. You don't have to go through a 4-year, 5-year relationship to realize that it's not it. Because here, this is what I've learned, and I noticed, and I've learned, and this is fact, okay? You can't skip steps. You cannot skip steps. If love is what you are supposed to learn, then guess what? Until you get God, because God is love, you're going to keep searching and you're going to still keep ending up in broken relationships or keep ending up in dead situations. If forgiveness is what you're after, or let me say this, if forgiveness is what you're supposed to learn, which it is, you're going to keep going through the same situations until you learn how to forgive people. Many people go through, or they get into a relationship, they get into marriage, and they realize that all the steps that they thought they skipped, they had to go through them. If they jumped from step 1 to step 5 and they think, oh, we good now. I slept my way through my relationship. Now I'm married. Oh, we good now. Guess what? Step 2, 3, 4 is waiting for you. And this is what a married man told me, who's been married for years, many years. He said the lack of relationship that he had, him and his wife, before they were married, delayed the beauty or the healing, keyword healing and deliverance that they're experiencing now, 10 plus years later. Actually, them getting married delayed their healing and their deliverance because they made each other an idol, or they looked to each other when they should have been looking to God. So while we're trying to jump into these relationships or jump into these marriages and we're not healed, we have not gave our total heart to God. We haven't cast down these idols. While we're doing all this, we're actually delaying our processes. You think it's not strange people been married for years, 20 years, 30 years, and then suddenly they're divorced? That's not strange to me. It's because they thought that they can skip the process. You thought that you can skip truly giving your heart to God. You thought that you can skip truly learning how to commit your body and commit your mind to God. And what's ending up happening is a lot of times people get into these marriages and then they try to find God. But if the other person's not willing, there's a rift or there's a split in the relationship. Or a lot of people, or how about this? The other person realized that you're not the same person that they married. And so you actually finding God in your marriage causes splits, causes divorces. Why go through that? Why do all this mess, go through all this headache, heartache, heartbreak, get into a marriage just to get a divorce? What sense does that make? When you can learn the things that God has you to learn right now. God is not after your relationship status. He's after your heart. And as a single young woman, I'm telling you, if you're a single young woman right now, you got one of the best seats in the house because you have no other distractions but God. That means you can totally learn and depend on him and learn how to worship your creator. Give worship where worship is due and not a man. I don't want to prolong. The things that I'm learning right now, I want to learn them and I want to master them as I get older. I don't want to discover them as I get older. I want to master them as I get older so that I may be able to be a tree that's producing fruits of righteousness so that other people, so that children, not just my children, but other people's children, young adults can eat off of, so that I can help righteousness spread through the earth. I want to master that. What good is it to go through all your years of life only to realize that you could have been more fruitful? You didn't really drop the fruit that you were supposed to drop. Or you just now discovering these treasures. Listen, take the time. Take the time. It's okay. Guys will be there. Guys will be there. Listen, I'm 31 now. Not married, have no children. If I was to live until I was 60 years old, and I was to get married now, that's another 30 years married. Or that's another 30 years with another human being being fruitful. Like we think, oh, I got to jump. I got to get into this right now, not realizing that you are delaying yourself because you're not taking the time to learn. You ever been in a situation and when you didn't do it right, it took you longer to finish or complete the task because you didn't do it right or because you didn't read the instructions? If you would have just sat down and read the instructions, you would have been done in 5 minutes, but now it took you an hour to finish it. That's how life is, Queen. Oh, I'm telling you. Listen, this is why I'm single. Not only am I single because it's my journey and my process right now, but because I can't skip steps. The things that I should have learned early, I'm learning now. Now I've got to a place of contentment that if I never, ever, ever have a romantic relationship, I am so satisfied because a man is no longer my idol. God is my God. And when he gives you, and when you allow him to be God in your life, he satisfies you. He satisfies your heart. And I mean completely, boo. Take it from a young woman. I'm telling you. God is not after your relationship status. He's after your heart. Will you give it to him? Will you give it to him, Queen? Will you give it to him? You chasing a man more than you chasing God. That's an issue. And listen, you always come up short. You're going to come up short. Let somebody who been through it tell you to quicken, to shorten your time. Oh, man. If you would just heed to this right now, what would have taken you 10, 15 years, it could take you 1 or 2. If you would heed this instruction, if you would take this wisdom from a young brown sugar queen. I'm telling you. I'm just waiting on a queen to listen. I'm just waiting on these queens to wake up. Wake up, sleeping beauty. Somebody done put something in your drink. You been asleep. I know who did it, culture. But God is here waiting for you. Will you say yes to him? Will you give him your whole heart? Will you date him? Will you make room for what is God and not just settle for what is good? Well, at least he ain't like the last one because he was trash. Yeah, he may be good, but is he God? Queen, there's a big difference. I had good, but it wasn't God. And guess what? It ended because it wasn't God. My heart wasn't right. But now that my heart is content before God, I am content as a single young woman. Was that what I was going to say? You got the best seat in the house. Listen, I'm going to stop trying. Y'all have a good day. Be encouraged. Until next time. Peace.